go. Here we go. Here we go.
Emmanuel, that was so good. Go again.
3, 2, 1. Time.
Welcome back to the Movement for Life podcast,
where we talk about ways to keep us moving throughout our life.
My name is JR.
And my name is Colby Christophic.
Welcome back.
Welcome to the show. Hope everybody has had a great start to their new year. I guess we're more than a couple episodes in here. This might not be right after the new year now, so that is good.
Wherever it is in your timeline, I hope you're doing good. What do we got today?
We are going to talk through some CrossFit gear and also some clothing brands for working out. This is going to be kind of a fun episode. It's maybe something that's not really thought about, but like, hey, what should I have for working out, and what's necessary, what isn't necessary, what's fun to have. So we'll talk about some of that stuff. We'll focus a little bit on CrossFit, but then we're going to go broader, and we'll talk not just about CrossFit, but also just fitness in general. What are some things that we're looking for? But
yeah, basically all the essentials that we need in our bag.
That's right. Before we get into that, we want to know how we moved last week.
Not very fast.
Okay. Tell me what you did, JR. What did you do last week?
I've just been upping the miles more and more. So I think I ran 14 miles last week total. It's just slowly kind of just creeping up a little bit more. And I have a 7-mile run today. And then this weekend I'll be running 11 miles. So it's like, it's been enjoyable. I've been going at a slow pace still, and I'll start picking it up a little bit in, I believe, 3 weeks. I'll start kind of amping up the percentages as far as like the speed. But besides that, I've just been doing some CrossFit, and I have been doing a lot of injury prevention and mobility.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, nothing super sexy, but
when you say upping your percentages, does that mean faster?
Yes. So I've been running probably around a 9.5 minute per mile pace, which is considerably slower for me as far as what I have been doing in the past. But I want to think long term, and I'm looking at doing a nice consistent like 8.5 minute mile pace, I think, for the marathon. So I think just to keep my body from completely just blowing out and preventing a little bit of soreness, I've been going a little slow on purpose, which is something I have never done before in my training. So I'm hoping it'll pay off, and it'll keep me a little more healthy throughout the training process.
That is definitely impressive. I will be very happy if I could keep up a time between 10 and 12 minutes throughout this entire marathon.
That's great. Yeah, if you do that.
So under 10 minutes already is at a low percentage for you. Like, kudos. That is going to be super awesome.
And what about you? What have you been doing?
Last week, let's see. I think it was last week. And we talked about this too. I had some PRs last week, in some lifts, which was really fun. What else did I do? I did not get in the water at all last week. And I only played pickleball one time last week.
What? How often do you play usually? 3?
Maybe twice. If on a good week, I'll get to play twice, but most of the time it's once. And last week it was a busy week, so I only got to play once.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Didn't do any running.
Just a reminder, folks, Colby's doing the marathon with me, but he decided he's not going to do any proper training for this. He's just going to go out there and do it. So
solely CrossFit training. I have been talking with some of the others that have been training for it, and I think the end of the month they have an 18 or 20 mile run.
Yeah.
I told them that I would try to run with them during that 18 or 20 mile run. And they're going to be around that 10-minute pace or 11-minute pace. So I'll be sure to wear running shoes for that,
Uh-huh.
and we'll see how that goes. And that'll
Why
be
are
the
they
last training run that I do.
why are they already at 20 miles so soon?
I think that is like towards the max. It's end of January or early February, but I think that's the max then that they'll do it in a single bout, and then I think it has like increasing volume throughout the week. So like 20 miles is about the top that they'll do,
Yeah, that's normal.
but then I think it changes into like a more volume throughout the week.
For 7 more weeks of training?
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I'm doing my regular CrossFit training for this, so
A 200-meter here, 400-meter there.
it's right. I did run 400 meters this morning. A whole 400
Wow.
meters. I ran it.
Good for you, Colby.
It's a big day in CrossFit.
Is it?
Yeah. Hey, if we got 200 meters in a workout, man, I'm no more than 2 or 3 times. Don't give me more than that. Should we start with a little game?
Yeah, let's do it.
In 60 seconds, we're going to try to name as many different athletic wear brands that we possibly can.
All right. You want to go like back and forth? You do one, I do one. You do one, I do one.
That sounds good. I think
Okay.
60 seconds we're still going to be going, and I think that we're still not even going to touch a bunch of them. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off here.
I think you're wrong, but I think we'll hit a good strong 30 seconds, and then after that, there's going to be a lot of
Okay. Are we ready?
You're going to go first, all right?
Okay, I'll go first.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go. Lululemon,
Nike,
Reebok,
Tier,
Under Armour,
Strike Movement,
Viore,
Noble,
Athleta,
Go Ruck,
Tactical 511,
Puma.
nice. Adidas.
We already said Adidas, I think.
Oh, really? I thought we said Reebok.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. Okay, Adidas. How about Champion?
Nice. Oh, man. Skip.
That has to be 60 seconds.
Yeah, there it is. 60-second
right.
timer.
That was pretty good. What did we get, like 14?
12. I counted
12.
12.
All right. Good job. All right, Colby, what would be your favorite brand? Like, what's your go-to? Like, this either looks really good on me or it feels good.
Yeah, really the only piece of clothing that I like to wear as far as like technical clothing is underwear and shorts, and almost all of my underwear is exclusively from Lululemon.
Ooh,
And I'll give a backstory kind of on that, maybe
you
a
heard
little
it,
bit later.
folks, here.
Um,
First.
and then we also have Viore. Viore is another brand that I really like.
Yeah.
And the reason that I like Viore is not because it's expensive, because it is, and I do not like that because of that. But it meshes definitely my lifestyle that I like. It's a very beachy brand. So a
Yep.
lot of the stuff that Viore has, I can use in the gym and also double as something that I could wear at the beach.
Oh, hey, we didn't say Ruka. I'm wearing it on my hat. It's one of my favorite brands.
Well, Ruka is more of a beachy brand rather
But
than
they
an
have athletic
athletic.
shorts. I mean, all the shorts that I wear in the gym are all Ruka.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
Ruka.
Yeah.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
So those are my top 2 brands that I like to wear as far as like athletic wear goes. That might be considered like a technical piece for the gym. We're not talking about like mountaineering technical or anything like that.
Sure.
But gym stuff that I wear. What
Okay.
about you? What is Ruka your favorite then?
Ruka is absolutely my favorite short because I feel like it fits my smaller frame better. Some of these shorts like Nike, they are traditionally made for bigger size guys, so like guys with big quads and glutes. So it looks really good on a mannequin, but when you
That's
put it
not
on
you?
my
You don't
put
have
on my
big
little body, I'm sorry,
you don't have big
folks, it
quads and glutes?
It looks like I don't bitch. It's like I'm wearing a curtain on my body. So
That's
Ruka is really good, and because it is a brand that's geared more toward like surf beach, it's made for like leaner, smaller guys.
yep.
And then as far as like shoes, I think Tier is probably like the CXTs. CXT one is the one I have on right now, which I really like that a lot. But I like Noble. I like Noble shorts and their warm up bottoms, though those shirts typically tend to be really big on me. So I kind of have a hodgepodge of everything. But yeah, I think across the board I have the most Ruka stuff: hats, shirts, hoodies. It's really cool, and it's
Nice.
not very expensive actually.
Yeah, Ruka is very reasonably priced.
Yeah, they have good sales.
I'll also say I forgot my shoes. My favorite shoes that I've been with for close to 10 years now are Innovates. I really
Oh
like
yeah,
Innovates,
I never had
and
a pair of those.
that's getting bigger and bigger inside like the fitness realm. They've got like cross trainers and runners and barefoots and all sorts of
Yeah,
different stuff.
nice.
Um, okay, cool. So let's let's talk about like CrossFit specific.
Ooh
And
yeah.
instead of thinking necessarily clothing, I want to talk about gear.
Okay.
Your gym bag is sitting right
Sitting
across
right
from
in
me
front
right
of you,
now.
actually. Do not
So if
go in it.
I opened up the typical CrossFit person's gym bag, aka JR Jaquay, what what am I likely to find in someone's gym bag?
All right. Well, specifically, my go-to gear, things that I have in my bag, I always have my jump rope. I have
Okay.
tape, so I have like the elastic tape to wrap my thumbs, which I will admit, one roll will usually last me about a year. I don't use a lot of tape. I I've had there's an orange roll that's still in that bag. It probably just has about 6 inches left. I've had for at least a year. I'm not too high on feeling like I need a lot of like tape and stuff on my thumbs and fingers. Like there's very specific times when I feel like I may need it. Obviously, I'm not lifting a ton of weight, but it's heavy for me, and I just don't feel like I really need it.
Yeah.
Um, I have always have an extra shirt, like an extra pair of shoes, because
Okay.
I'm trying to do this new thing where the new shoes I got for Christmas are only worn inside. So I'm like
Okay.
bringing my new shoes in my bag, and though I didn't switch out of the ones I wore outside today, I'm just trying to keep them, just trying to see if I can take care of my stuff a little longer. And besides that, I have like a snack. I have my protein powder or I love my pre-workout. If anyone knows me, I like to get
The
cracked out,
drugs.
my drugs.
The
And
drugs.
then really depending on like what I'm doing, maybe it's an extra pair of socks. Like if I know I'm gonna have to work after I work out, clean pair of socks is always essential. And that's pretty much it. Like my food goes straight in the refrigerator if I'm bringing food, but it's just those little things. Oh, I have like my portable magnetic timer, my
Oh, that's
my
right. That's a really
my
cool thing to have.
Thunderbirds. Yeah, one of my friends got me that for Christmas a couple of years ago, and it's magnetic. So I set it up, just lock it up on the rig, or if I go to like LA Fitness or whatever, I kind of have that, and I can use it as a portable time clock. But besides that, it's just like the essentials. I think I have less things in my bag than most CrossFitters, in my opinion.
In your opinion,
Yeah. What about you? What's
I think we just spent 5 minutes talking about your bag.
But it's like all like if I do this or if I do that, like, So okay, why don't you tell me what's in your bag?
Um, you and I have very similar gym bags. And I'm like the person who says like let's keep gear to like the minimum. If I can avoid having things, I don't typically have things.
Agreed.
So I'll tell you what I have in mind. I do have a jump rope, um, and maybe later on today we can kind of go through like an essentials list, what we think most people should have, even if it's not in our bags or if it is in our bags, and it shouldn't be like it's unnecessary. We'll kind of go through that. But I have a jump rope. I have a set of knee sleeves. I actually have 2 sets of knee sleeves. I think I've talked about this in another episode, if it hasn't already aired, about um, dealing with some knee injuries. And I don't normally wear my knee sleeves. Um, I honestly wear them like maybe if we're doing really heavy squats, and that's about it. I try to avoid it at all. It does feel really good to wear knee sleeves. Having really warm knees with a slight bit of compression
Yeah,
feels really good. I think it's a little bit unnecessary,
agreed.
but I have 2 sets of knee sleeves. Both of them smell disgusting. They probably both need to be washed. Then
That's
I
gross.
have a belt, a lifting belt that's like a Velcro. Um, Again, unless we're like 1 rep maxing or on a test day, I'm usually almost never using a belt, just like those sleeves. Um, and then I have 2 sets of wrist wraps, like cloth wrist wraps.
Okay.
Um, I have not used wrist wraps in a very long time. There was a, a couple of like points throughout some training that I would have some wrist pain in my
Hmm.
right wrist in particular. And so I got a set of wrist wraps, and that actually made a really big difference when I'm not experiencing pain or at sub maximal loads. Again, like knee sleeves are back. I don't typically use them. I don't know if you've been training here almost 6 months now. I don't think you've ever seen me take out my wrist wraps.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Then what else? Oh, I've got a pair of lifting shoes
Okay.
in there. I haven't used those lifting shoes since you've been here in the last 6 months. Almost primarily, I am using my regular Innovates for 99% of anything that I'm doing inside the gym. I don't keep my running shoes in there. I learned the hard way that I probably should, because the morning of my half marathon, I forgot my running shoes and I ran them in CrossFit shoes. So I should
Yeah.
probably keep my running shoes in there. And then I do have a pair of these, although they are not mine, gymnastics grips. I have a pair of gymnastics grips, and I think I found them in Lost and Found, and I was like, hey, I'm going to put these in my bag just in case somebody else wants to use them, and I have an extra pair. Um, and then I typically have an emergency set of clothes. So I've got like 2 pairs of shorts and a shirt or two, a pair of underwear and socks. Um, that they probably sat in there for months, because almost always I bring an extra set of clothes. So that's what's inside my gym bag. Maybe we could come up with a list of like the most 5 essential things that somebody could probably have in their gym bag. Try to keep it as concise as possible. I think a lot of times, you know, we all kind of think of like, oh, this one time I needed this, so now it's going to forever sit in my bag, or this one time that I thought this was going to be relevant, so now I have these inside my bag as well.
Right.
And now we've accumulated all this stuff inside a gym bag, and somebody that's new walking into a gym, whether it's a CrossFit gym or anywhere else, is like, man, I feel like I need $1,000 worth of gear to keep with me or to bring with me to the gym. So maybe we can break that myth a little bit and kind of come up with a couple of things. Let's try to keep it at 5, maybe that
All right.
somebody can bring to the gym.
All right. You can
I
hear me,
kind of
can't
want to
you?
I want to go with the number one thing that I think people should bring.
Okay. What is that?
I think a piece of equipment that everybody should have, no matter what your level is, no matter where you work out, or anything, everyone should have a jump rope. That is their own jump rope. I think that is an essential piece of gear, no matter what kind of fitness space you're in. Having a jump rope that's your own, that's measured to you, and that you can use at any point, I think is like an invaluable use of space. It's very small and compact as well. So that's my top one that I think everyone should definitely have.
Agreed. And I also think that you can take a rope with you anywhere. It travels well. So, you can take that jump rope on a vacation and you could easily hit a really good workout with body weight and jump rope.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to choose the next thing here. I think you should always have some kind of snack, like a post workout, pre workout, depending on when you like to have that snack. But I think it's really important because I think a lot of folks will do a workout and they mean to go home or go back to work and eat something and they forget or they don't have time. So if you have like a protein bar or some kind of pre-made snack in your bag, I think that will help those folks who are forgetting to eat afterwards. Protein powder, any of that stuff I think would be a really good idea.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've seen actually a lot of people do, and I think this is an excellent idea, is have a shaker bottle. And in the shaker bottle, they have their dry protein already in there with no water, so
Yep.
that immediately post workout, they can fill it up, shake it up, and have some protein.
Sure.
Obviously we want to be eating whole foods for our meals, but sometimes it is difficult to get protein in post workout or some sort of post exercise nutrition. Sometimes eating a meal is very difficult, especially if we went really hard. We feel like, hey, I'm not ready to eat. I don't want to eat anything.
Yeah.
And something like a post workout is a great opportunity to consume maybe some carbohydrates and some protein. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. All right. Your turn. What's next?
Okay. Another article or something else that you should be having inside your gym bag. I don't know if it's inside your gym bag, um, or if it's just gym gear in general, but I think a pair of shoes that you use exclusively for your exercise is probably going to be a really good idea as well.
Yes. Agreed.
And I know as crazy as it sounds, I think that if you're doing um, a mix of strength training and metabolic conditioning, having two different kinds of shoes, a running shoe and a flatter shoe, makes a big difference for that as well. So I typically suggest when somebody's coming in and says, hey, what kind of shoe should I buy? Almost everybody already has quote unquote tennis shoes or exercise shoes, and they're more like running shoes. And so I
Yes.
typically suggest um, buying a flat shoe. And I say you don't need to necessarily worry about a brand or the best one or the highest level, but I think a shoe that's got a near zero drop on the heel and is a flatter base, not a lot of cush,
Yeah.
will help significantly with feeling the ground and improving balance as well.
Sure. I mean, a lot of folks will squat in like Chuck T's or Vans just because it's a great flat shoe and it's it's perfect for that. All right, if you guys are like me, you carry a lot of shit to the gym. I like to take my rope. I like an extra pair of socks to change into after I work out. I like to have a snack because that's super important. A toiletry bag. Man, there's just so much in my bag. And for a long time, I really struggled with keeping all of that separated or trying to find something easily. Not anymore because the best boss in the world, Colby, bought me a Haven athletic bag. And let me tell you about this bag. It has lots of different compartments, even a little ventilated area at the bottom where you can either put your stinky shoes or maybe sweaty clothes. And it's great to not have those mixed in with all of your other stuff. We are able to give you guys $40 off your purchase. If you go to the show notes, there's a link. Haven Athletic. Purchase your bag today.
Thought when you talked about protein, I thought about a video, and I got to show it. It's Danny Broflex, and it's talking about macro timing or nutrition timing.
Okay.
And so I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're gonna watch a quick little tip. And some background is, uh, this guy is quote unquote making fun of CrossFit in general, but also talking about like, hey, the importance of like timing my food and whatnot. Mr. Danny Broflex. Have you seen any of the Danny Broflex?
Let me pull him up and let me see who it is first. That's pretty funny.
So you talk about like protein timing, and he's kind of giving a funny play on the whole macronutrient timing, where he's like, oh, you got to eat it faster or slower,
Yeah.
which is kind of great. But you're absolutely right. Yes, sometimes it is difficult to find time to eat post exercise. Yeah, I've put in 2. You've put in 1. Give us another piece.
Well, let's see. Well, I guess it would depend on what time of the day you're working out. So I always like to have a clean pair of socks in my
Mm,
bag, always. I mean, if I am going to work out and then not be able to take a shower afterwards, I need to change my socks. So, and I will usually change my shoes also, but to keep my shoes from stinking, but also I don't want like my sweaty feet to be kind of just like simmering
yeah.
in those dirty socks. So I will change. If I'm, if you're working out in the evening and you're going straight home afterwards, that's different, but that's never me. I'm always working out and then going someplace or coaching right away. So I always make sure I have clean socks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I would even expound upon that, and I would say like a change of clothes. I think that is definitely kind of essential if you're a gym goer. If you're getting like hot and sweaty and kind of nasty, um, if your gym has a space for this, taking a shower and changing your clothes post exercise is kind of a great thing to do. Unless you're going home directly to do that, um, sitting in your sweat and stank is a little bit rough.
Yep.
So having not only a change of socks, but like a change of underwear, shorts, and another shirt. Maybe I'm bringing a towel as well,
Yeah.
so I can shower at my facility. If I don't have a shower at my facility, maybe I'm bringing, what do they call those? Dude wipes. Have you ever heard of dude wipes?
Yeah. Take a horse
Uh,
bath.
yeah, exactly. Um, so I think that's definitely essential. And then I think, and let's think of one final piece that you could keep inside your gym bag that is most necessary.
I mean, I
I'm
think it's
kind of struggling.
this could be something really specific. Like I feel like that could be very specific to what kind of workout you typically do. If you are one of those folks who goes to 24 Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, and like a glute band, some kind of like object like that.
Mm,
But if you're going to CrossFit, maybe it's your tape or chalk if you like your own very specific chalk. I mean,
mm,
I think having like and we talked about the rope, but having something, some other accessory that's really specific to what you do could kind of fill in that spot, and that could be different
yeah.
for so many people.
Okay. I like that. Like a very training specific item, wherever you're at. Um, I like that a
Oh,
lot.
oh, headphones. Also,
Ooh.
depending on where you're going, headphones are super, super important. Though I like sometimes when I'm working out, complete silence, nothing, no music. If I'm in CrossFit, like in the gym, turn everything off and just like work out. I think it helps me to kind of just concentrate on what I'm doing, and it really allows me to think. And I don't tend to use music as something that has to push me, but I know a lot of
Okay.
folks need it. So I think that could be very specific also. If you're going to CrossFit, you're probably not going to have some headphones on. So
Yeah. I was thinking as a final piece of gear, like a workout tracker. So maybe that's like a watch, or an Apple Watch, or a Garmin, or a
Whoop.
Fitbit, a Whoop, something like that might be a really good final piece of gear that maybe you're not keeping in your gym bag. Maybe you do keep it in a gym bag. You don't wear it all the time. Um, but I think that could be a fun one. All right, let's close up here with talking a little bit about monies,
Okay.
um, because we talked about a slew of different stuff as far as like what you could get involved in,
Yep.
and
It ain't
the
cheap.
last thing I want, yeah, and the last thing that I want is somebody to be intimidated by that and be like, man, I'm going to start at the gym, but then I'm also going to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all these other things. Now, while that is true, I want to ask you, like, what are a couple of like budget friendly options that you think are good and reliable, and what are some of the more expensive things that you're like, hey, if you've got the money to spend it, like this is a great brand and I like the product.
Well, I definitely think several of the items that we have on our list are probably going to qualify to more either seasoned, advanced athletes or people who've been doing their fitness regimen for a while. I would absolutely not tell somebody who is just getting started that they need a bag full of stuff. I think the jump rope is something that everybody could really benefit from using, and you can get some pretty inexpensive ones at your local Walmart, you know, Play It Again Sports or something. Some of those jump ropes are quite expensive as you get into the really nice ones. They can be over $100 per rope, but
Yep.
you know, you can get one that's $20. You can even, I think Rogue Fitness has one for like $25. I think
Yeah.
that's a great one. So, you know, you don't have to go to the highest end once you see that you've committed to whatever you're doing and you want to invest in something a little more high quality, then go for it. As far as clothes go, you know, it's just really depending on your fashion sense. You don't have to have this whole wardrobe full of clothes, but the more you get into it, the nicer things you kind of like, and you will gravitate more toward brands that fit you well. And maybe if you're lucky enough to like find something like a Ruka where it's not as expensive as a Noble, then
Yeah.
good for you. But I think, you know, the local Target, you know, their sporting clothes is just as good as anybody else, especially if you're just starting out.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. Is when you're thinking about like what kind of clothing and athletic gear to buy, especially at first, like don't who cares about the brand? Like you don't have to get some special brand or some CrossFit endorsed brand.
I mean, guys,
Um,
your shirts are going to come off anyway, so don't have to spend a lot of money on your shirts.
um, yeah, I think that keeping it simple, and you know, you said like Target or Walmart has got plenty of athletic gear that's on the cheaper end that'll work just fine. If there are brands that you end up gravitating towards, um, then I think that sticking with those brands are a totally fine thing for you to do. Um, and I'll kind of finish with my last little backstory. Um, the reason that I have all Lululemon underwear is for, well, a long time ago, I worked for Lululemon
Oh, okay.
as a like sales associate. Um, and then after leaving Lululemon, I was there for like a season. I became an ambassador for Lululemon.
Oh, nice.
Um, and with that, they basically um,
Give you a lot of stuff.
gave me a budget to be able to try out a bunch of different gear. And the thing that I liked the most was that stinking underwear. It was some of the best underwear, and I still have it. I bought so
The
much
one
underwear
pair,
during what's that?
the one pair of underwear.
No, I have so much stinking underwear that I would keep some and not even wear it, so that when I threw out a pair of underwear, I would be able to replace it with another pair. Um, so that is a little bit of backstory on why every single one of my pairs of underwear is from Lululemon, is because I was an ambassador for a couple of years a while back. And out of all of their gear, I I loved their underwear.
To be honest, I didn't even know they had underwear.
Yeah, it's great. It's gonna change your life.
Their clothes don't fit me,
Well, maybe their underwear
which
will.
which is ironic because it initially was made for people who do yoga, which tend to be smaller, leaner
Slimmer.
guys. And then
Yeah.
they started making all these shorts for bigger guys because so many CrossFitters was wearing them. And
Yep.
again, I can't, like, the shorts are just too big and bunchy on me that had to go on.
That's right. Well, cool. I think that's a fun episode. We get to talk about a lot of different things as far as gear goes, clothing goes. And as our audience is maybe some current gym goers, some new gym goers, we'd love to hear from you guys as well. Like, what are some of your favorite brands that you use? What's inside your gym bag? Like, put a comment down below. I want to know what's inside your gym bag. Do you have some things that you're like, oh, nobody else has this, but I have this in my gym bag? And I think it's super useful. Or, hey, you forgot about this. Or even like, hey, if there's some brands that we didn't talk about today and you're like, man, I absolutely love this brand, put it in the comments. Like, we want to know about
Yeah,
it.
let us
Maybe
know.
I want to try it out. So definitely let us know about those sorts of things. There's a ton of opportunity for trying new stuff out and kind of figuring out what's going to work best for you.
And I think if anything, we figured out, if you don't know what to get Colby, get him underwear from Lulu.
That's right. It's either underwear or socks. Somebody sent, did I tell you this?
No.
Somebody sent me 3 pairs of socks for Christmas. I don't know who it was. They sent them in a bag to the gym with my name on it, no other information. I reached out to like 5 different people who I thought it might be. So if you're watching this, whoever gave me those socks, let me know so I can say thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a mystery pair of socks, and I love socks. I'm wearing them
What
today.
what's the brand?
Stance.
Oh, nice. Stance is the brand. There you go. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, look at how
I'm wearing them
high
today.
Colby can bring his leg up.
Yeah, I just broke my leg doing that. Cool. Until next week, subscribe, rate us. We love some ratings. Share this with a friend. We'll continue these conversations throughout the weeks.
We will see you all next week. Have a great week.
Peace. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Emmanuel, that was so good. Go again.
3, 2, 1. Ah.